Okay, I'm going to call our meeting to order. Can you join me, please, for the flag salute?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Cross.
Here.
Director Hubbard.
Present.
Director Womack. Vice President Sisenia.
Here.
President Forkroy.
I'm here. Okay, thank you very much. We have one general action item today, and with that, I'll hand it over to District Council.
Thank you, President, members of the board. This one item on this adjourned regular meeting agenda is for the board to consider the appointment of district general manager and approval of his employment contract. As y'all know, after a broad search and interviews with the board designated Greg Kwolek to be the appointee for the general manager position. Mr. Kwolek is in the audience today. And that he is the individual who's been designated by the board, and today's formal action would be to consider that appointment as the general manager. And also, we have an action on the agenda to approve an employment agreement. And as you all know, it is standard for the executive of an agency like this to work under an employment contract. And this is a fairly standard template for an employment agreement. The Brown Act requires that the employment agreement for a local agency executive be considered in an open meeting like this one, and that I give an oral summary of the compensation provisions of that agreement before you consider it. So provisions related to salary and benefits are as follows. The contract is proposed to be effective May 18th of 2026. The general manager would be an at-will employee and exempt from overtime requirements. The annual salary to start is proposed to be $214,000. After 6 months, the board will conduct an evaluation and consider whether to provide the increase of up to 3.2% that the rest of the staff will likely receive as of July 1. We call that the COLA increase. The contract provides that the district would pay 100% of the cost of the CalPERS Gold health plan for the general manager and his dependents. There would be a $7,500 annual contribution to the district's 457 deferred compensation plan that's made on a monthly basis. That 457 plan is a retirement account. The district would pay, as is standard, the employer portion of CalPERS. The employee would pay the employee portion. District would provide a life insurance policy of $100,000. Worth $100,000. There's 20 vacation days annual, as well as 1 sick day accrual per month. The cash out and banking provisions are in that contract and pursuant to district policy. Holidays are the same as all the other employees, and 5 administrative leave days per year. Administrative leave days are not permitted to accrue over the course of more than 1 year. District would also provide a $100 per month auto allowance for the use of his personal vehicle for business purposes, as well as a $90 per month cell phone allowance to allow for the virtually 24-hour contact that the general manager has to have. So that's those are the compensation and benefit provisions in the contract. Otherwise, pretty standard employment contract issues that we have gone over in the past. Mr. Kwolek has accepted the terms of the contract, is prepared to execute it if the board decides to make the appointment. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions. The 2 suggested portions of the parts of the motion, which can all be done at once if you prefer, are on the board.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to just start out, express my gratitude for I guess our district in general, I was just blown away at our ability to attract such qualified applicants when we did this search. And obviously or I especially, I'm very excited to start working with Greg. He is going to start with on the ground running, and I think benefit this district greatly. So thank you to all of those who participated in the GM recruitment process. Does the board have any comments, questions?
It's kind of a time that we've been anticipating but not looking forward to. Kind of an odd situation. He wouldn't let us clone him, that was the whole problem. Yeah, this is just the start of that process, but I guess I'd just like to say that I also am happy that we had the quality of candidates, multiple candidates, well qualified for our GM position. It's not always been that way. And I was just very, very happy to see.
I'd just like to say, I'm a venerable rookie here, so I haven't worked with Ron as long as Chuck or Matt have. And it's definitely for them, I'm sure, a bittersweet situation where, you're going to be losing Ron, but we're going to be getting Greg. So I'm just glad that we got a qualified candidate and looking forward to working with him.
Indeed. I think it's been a significant point of anxiety of the aspect of the prospect of losing Ron, but I think Greg has successfully eased a fair bit of that anxiety, if not all of it, at least for me. So I'm very excited to be working with him.
I'm glad we do have a transition period. We don't have to do both important things at once.
Okay, with that, I'll open this discussion for public comment.
There is none online.
Okay.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Jeff Edwards, and generally I'd like to express my support for action to retain Mr. Kwolek for the general manager position. He comes from a challenging situation in Morro Bay, and I think he's coming to an equally challenging situation here in Los Osos. With regard to the contract in particular, I'd like to make 2 points. First of all, it's kind of become the norm to engage in their evergreen contracts, and I'm referring to the section on term, which is section 3 is the term. And again, the practice has been to create these, what I call evergreen contracts, where there is no termination date. And while it's become the norm, I think there are advantages to having a specified term. For example, a 5-year term for a community services district is reasonable. I think it sets expectations and a time frame instead of a contract that is self-renewing. I just think having a specific timeline in there, it helps set expectations for everybody. Additionally, on section 5B, which is the adjustment, the annual adjustment, we know that our target rate that the Federal Reserve is 2%. And if we ever want to get close to 2%, I object or have concerns about inflation provisions that are in the order of 3.2%. I'd recommend 2.5% for escalation provisions to better keep in line with where we're going. And then with regard to the scope of the work that's facing Mr. Kwolek, he comes from Morro Bay that is a subcontractor for state water. And as you know, you have a contract that you've let for the construction documents for the state water pipeline to connect the Chorro Valley to Los Osos. The construction documents will be complete in 6 months or so. And I think it's imperative that we have made arrangements to contract for water to put in the pipeline before the construction documents are complete. And I think we need to run these in parallel. There are 11 subcontractors. Several of them want to unload state water. I think we want to acquire state water in a permanent basis, and it's likely that we want to acquire more than the 200 acre feet that we've already talked about, up to the 600 acre feet that we have capacity in Chorro Valley Pipeline. So in closing, that is, I think, the biggest concern, securing Table A entitlement prior to construction documents being completed.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other public comment, so bring it back to the board and entertain a motion.
I would like to move to appoint Mr. Qualic as general manager pursuant to the terms and conditions as outlined in the employment contract, and approve an employment contract and authorize the president of the board to execute with an effective date of May 18th, 2026.
And I'll second that.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Director Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Cross,
Aye.
Vice President Sisenya,
Yes.
President Forkroy.
Yes. Okay, we've passed that unanimously. Motion carries, and we have a new general manager in a little over a month. Yeah. So thank you. Okay, with that, next item is public comment for items not on this agenda.
There are none online.
Okay, and none in the boardroom. So with that, any closing board comments? We kind of made them, but yeah, we have a lot to do. So yeah, Greg, if you'd like to say a few things, for sure.
Seven minutes. First, thank you so much for offering me the opportunity to be the general manager for this organization. I proudly accept and excitedly accept. This organization offers a lot of critical services to the community, and I'm really looking forward to being a part of that. I also appreciate the trust that you've shown me to do this job, and I promise to do everything I can to fulfill my obligations as well as work out all the goals that we all have and execute on them. Want to just give a couple thanks. One is to Ron for letting me know about the opportunity, and also to my family, who is going to have to put up with a couple of night meetings every now and then. And also, I'm really looking forward to meeting and working with all the staff here. I've met a couple of them. They seem very nice, but I understand they're very talented people. So excited about that. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll be working with you soon.
Good. Thank you, Greg. Okay. Well, with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Great. Great.